And a pleasant good evening to everybody. Welcome to Phoenix College. We're in downtown Phoenix for exciting Arizona Lacrosse League action. It's the Division I state championship as the two-time defending and number 2 ranked Notre Dame Prep Saints take on the number 1 ranked Brophy Broncos. Both teams coming in with identical 12-2 records. Pat Arbison, Jeff Lowry, Dylan Olson on camera. So glad you could join us here. It's a great night. It's cooled off. We're down in the low 80s now. We had a game day high of 91 degrees. Congratulations to Desert Mountain. They won the Division II championship here on APN Sports. And tonight we got yet another 1 versus 2. I think it's a great matchup. Brophy in the white and the purple of Notre Dame.
Yeah, happy to be here. I mean, this is it, right? Like both teams all season, all off season, battling for this. And like you said, Notre Dame trying to go and complete that three-peat, but a tough Brophy Bronco team here to show their worth as well.
And the Broncos beat Notre Dame earlier in the year, back on the 23rd of March, 11-7. It was a game they controlled the entire game, but this is not the same Notre Dame team we saw back in March playing today, and a big reason why, Jake Smith.
Yeah, Jake Smith, phenomenal talent. I think the first thing that comes to mind when you say Jake Smith is Gatorade National Player of the Year for football. And he's a phenomenal talent in lacrosse, and I think, after seeing him play, and I've actually, been to some Notre Dame practices, the kid could probably play both sports in college. That's how phenomenal of a talent he is.
Well, and he's done very well. He's had like 20 points in a short amount of time since coming back. He's only played 5 games. This is a rematch of the 2017 game. Notre Dame went right down to the wire. It was 11-10. Jack Clark took the shot at the buzzer. Marcus Comences made the save. Notre Dame got their first ever Division I championship. And putting this Notre Dame team in perspective, these are the 2 top offensive teams in the state. But when you look at their point differential, Notre Dame is almost double the differential of Brophy.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have exceptional talent on offense, but I think, when we talk about these teams as well, defense is what's going to stand out for me. I mean, Notre Dame, they have big defensive guys. To start is Zach Siegel, the kid going to Furman, their goalie going to Lewis College, and then you look on the other end, Brophy has Liam Bailey in goal, incredible talent, and then they're surrounded by some big boys down low as well.
Yeah, Jackson Underwood, he's tremendous down there. Buccino. There's just so many. The thing about Brophy that I've noticed, maybe more so than any other team in the state, I mean, it's not one guy. And you probably say that about Notre Dame. They got, you got Bergamo on offense, and you got Siegel. I think Siegel probably is the best defensive player in the state. I'll say
arguably the best player in the state of Arizona right now. And he's playing both offense and defense. Like you were saying, I think for me, offensively for both teams is going to be a little different. I think Notre Dame's going to play a little bit of that run and gun style, try to ISO you out, beat you, either draw the slide or shoot the ball. Where Brophy, they're going to play a little bit methodical. They're going to try to run their sets. Get some open looks through their offensive sets that they have run. So,
well, and you look at the 2 coaches, Zach Widman. He's been here since 2009. He took over as head coach 2 years ago from, at the time, the winningest coach in league history, Bo Pick. Brophy's won 5 state championships. This is their 11th trip to the finals. For Zach Widman, this puts his name up there as a state championship coach, but he's going up against Doug Lipka, Mark Siegel, the brain trust of this Notre Dame team, and, I mean, they're number 1, and they can do it for a 3rd straight year.
Absolutely. So Notre Dame's going to have all the juice and the experience, right? Like this is their second. They've won 2 in a row. They're going for their 3rd. So experience-wise, they've been here before. They've played. Brophy, on the other hand, they're going for their first championship in a few years. First championship under Coach Woodbin as well. So maybe they might have a little bit of nerves when they start out there. But at the end of the day, it's just a lacrosse game.
Notre Dame has won 41 of their last 43. We'll have the opening face-off coming up next on APN. Well, this is the second of our championship coverage here on apnvideo.com, the Arizona Lacrosse League. And for the second game today, 1 versus 2, and you just can't ask for a better matchup.
Yeah. So who are you picking to start?
Oh well, I think there was a time I thought Brophy definitely was the top team, and they still are. They're number 1 until Notre Dame knocks them off. But I think when you look at the fact that Notre Dame's won 9 straight, and they are a much different team with Jake Smith, not only offensively, but as a defensive midfielder, he just adds so much. And I think the Siegel-Smith, from a defensive standpoint, I think that's going to be the difference in this game. But it's a championship game. There's nerves. Mistakes are going to happen. And I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, I think it's going to go back and forth. The thing about lacrosse is both teams are going to go on runs. So one team might go on, and then next time it's another team going in for it. So you mentioned Jake Smith. I think he's a phenomenal talent, offensively, defensively, in the middle of the field. Maybe the spotlight's on him if we're trying to pick out a player that's going to, maybe take over a game, that he could maybe single-handedly do it. And that gives, for me, that's just the credit that he has as an athlete. But don't count out Brophy either. I mean, they're a young team, but young and hungry, and they play collectively.
And the thing I like about Brophy is the fact that it's a collective ground ball machine. They're very good in high-stress situations. And their polls they're solid, and they're very disciplined. So we're going to see. I think advantage, athleticism, the purple people eaters. So it's Notre Dame and Brophy meeting for the second time in 3 years. Notre Dame had an average point differential of 8.7. Brophy raised theirs up to 6.6. So it was a little bit closer than I originally said. Brophy's coming off a 10-5 victory over Higley, and DV lost 14-2 to Notre Dame in the semifinals. So here we are.
Here we are, the first face-off. Alex Cannella for Brophy, one of the best face-off guys in the league. But again, like we talked about, the athleticism of NDP out there on the field.
And you're going up against Roach, who's one of the best too. But I'll tell you, I think Cannella is one of those guys that is really underrated. And I think he had an MVP type season for all the little things that he does. And Brophy wins the opening face-off, and we're underway. Yeah,
and you alluded to it, right? The little things are what's so important in this game of lacrosse. Cannella, former baseball player, has only played lacrosse for a year and a half. That's coming over from baseball.
Well, here's Brian Paul, number 14, getting over to Dickens. As you said, they're going to settle in 6-on-6. You think they're going to rush the shot? They're not. And Zach Siegel,
there he is,
stick up, and he got the interception. Josh Calvin, the goalie, the quick outlet.
And NEP elects not to push transition, trying to get their numbers on the field. They get the ball to their best player right now, Bergamo, back at X.
Yeah, Bergamo, I mean, what a career. 3-year starter. Takes a shot, and Liam Bailey rising to the occasion to keep it at 0-all.
Yeah, I think that's one of those shots that, Bergamo has played in this championship game before. Maybe wants to get hot early, but Liam Bailey stepping up big for the save.
So it does look like Zach Siegel is starting the game. That's failure to advance. And actually, Zach is starting at defense, but we've seen him start at long stick midfielder.
Yeah, I think he started on the pole, actually, just for that big presence in the middle of the field of the first faceoff, and then he's going to go down low. I didn't see who he was matched up on, but Brophy has a freshman, Cole Rassis. I think he leads Brophy in points. Yes. So it'd be interesting to see if he matches up against Cole down low.
Liam Bailey with another save. Bergamo, nice little ride here by Notre Dame.
Yeah, this situation, if I'm Brophy, I try to get the ball on one of my most athletic players and try to wheel it out. I mean, NEP's playing a tough ride, and look, they're pushing transition right now with a long pull. 30 takes a shot, and a nice save by Josh Calvin.
Josh Calvin, outstanding. I mean, he saved nearly 67% of the shots against.
That's outstanding for a goalie, 67%.
And we saw Kristen Creech at Desert Vista right up there, 65%. Two of the best goalies, and I put Liam Bailey up there too. Well, they got away with maybe an illegal screen over there. That's Christian Butura, who did not start the season as a starter.
Another freshman out there. And there's Cole Rassis for the goal.
And the freshman who played his 8th grade season over at Glendale last year, and Brophy strikes first and leads it 1-0 at the 9:27 mark.
I think it says something about your team if you're one of your best players is a freshman, right? I mean, the future's bright for Zach Whitman and Brophy, but for 27 and White to be the leader of the offense right now, that's awesome. I mean, the future's bright for the kid.
So that comes with 9:27 left to go. Brophy leading 1-0. And I think it's definitely at their advantage if they get off to a good start. They've won, well, I was going to say they won a face-off. Nope, give it to Notre Dame. Nice ground ball there. Grant Boyer. Boyer had a great game in that semifinal and then held on to it too long. The turnover belongs to Alex Cannella, and that guy's all over the field.
I think if you're Brophy right now, you're just going to get set up in your offense. Get your subs in there, get the ball around once or twice, and then go and attack NDP's defense.
Yeah, how would you like that? Did you see that check by Jake Smith? I mean, I didn't see the Brophy player. He went flying.
He's a phenomenal athlete. And out on offense right now, you have three freshmen for Brophy. You had Caleb Greenfield, and this is Cole Rassis again. Oh.
And Cole went right around Siegel that time and had the hands clear.
It's going to be a great matchup all day.
Here's a one-timer and
awesome save by Josh Calvin right there.
Absolutely. 8:26 on the clock. 1-0 Brophy on a Cole Rassis shot.
And this is what you have to do if you're NDP. You get the ball into your athlete. And it's Jake Smith running all the way down.
My goodness, he's running through. It's a bull dodge all the way to the score. Unbelievable.
We said it. Generational athlete running all the way from one field to the other and putting it in the back of the net. Legit just ran down the heart of their defense.
That is unbelievable. And if that doesn't fire up your bench, nothing will.
It's hard to tell your defense to, slide body when you have a Division I Gatorade Player of the Year in football running down. It's hard to say you got to lay body when, the kid is going to college to go play football.
I've seen him mow over 2 Broncos so far. 8:12 on the clock, first quarter action in this Division I state championship game. And Siegel will win the second of 3 face-offs, and now we'll try to get it into one of the short stick guys, like this guy, Max Ice Bergamo.
And he knows how to score a few goals, right?
Yeah, he has had a tremendous career. 68 points for Bergamo this year. And Alex Clausen is a guy that he does the intangibles. 40 ground balls. He's a ground ball machine and outstanding on the clear. And you need a couple of guys like that.
Yeah, he's your guy that you get the ball to, and you hope that he breaks down the defense so that a slide comes, and then you can move the ball and get the offense flowing. He might not be a guy that dodges, beats you, and shoots it right away, but he's the one that sets up your offense.
And Bergamo battling. That was a great battle with Joey Bottini. But he won it, and he went top shelf. And Notre Dame now has a 2-1 lead.
And this is what I kind of alluded to early. You're going to see NDP try to go a little bit more one-on-one, want to beat or win their matchups where Brophy's going to get the ball and see if they can break you down on offense. They're going to run their sets. Maybe they don't get it the first time, but they're going to get the ball spinning, and hopefully, on that second spin around, they're going to get a shot.
Well, Brophy, their midfield play is so good to go along with their defense.
Yeah, they have a great offense, a great midfield. Xander Welty up there. You have number 14. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Brian Paul.
They have a very well balanced offense.
And they've got the guys like we mentioned, Alex Clausen that will do the. I mean, they've got more than. They got an abundance of guys that can clear and get the ground ball, and I think that's a big part of their success. And it goes without saying. as Clausen brings it into the box. Notre Dame leads it 2-1. Bergamo and
Jake Smith's back on there. They're hoping to break down the defense.
And that's going to be a push.
There's your first flag of the game. And Brophy's going to go man down.
That'll be a 30-second infraction on Jack Taylor of Brophy.
And look who walks over from the defensive side to the extra man offense. Number 14 in purple, Zach Siegel.
So he turns into a long stick midfielder. You know, we were talking to Ryan Erickson. He came up, he's with Ottawa University lacrosse, and he spent the third quarter with us in the D2 game, and he played long stick, and we were just talking about how, you know, Zach Siegel had 11 assists with a pole. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the kid, he's skilled, right? And he's going to go to Furman University next year. And I don't think Richie Meade down in Furman's going to have any issues with, you know, Zach Siegel handling the ball in the middle of the field. He's used to it. He's been playing offense and defense for the past 2 years.
And they got big Brooks Lane back into the lineup. He had a severe severe temperature for the Desert Vista game on Tuesday in the semifinals, but he's out there.
Yeah, I think when you're sick and it's a championship game, you're not going to miss it.
No. They may have to regulate his time in there because of the dehydration factor. Shot. And Liam Bailey got part of his cross on that one. 6:12 left to go here, opening quarter. We play 4 12-minute quarters.
Let's see what NDP elects to do. If they're going to go and get into a set or if they're going to try to win that matchup, go one-on-one.
Hackbarth, who had 4 goals in that semifinal game against Desert Vista on Tuesday, 12. Here's Smith.
I don't know why you're not pulling Jake Smith. I mean, he's the fastest kid on the team. Maybe might be the fastest kid in Arizona right now. I'd put a long pull on him and see if he can beat the long pull.
He's going up against Christopher Melvin. Number 25, a junior. Hackbarth couldn't corral that one, and Hector Sanchez, who got a lot of playing time early in the year for Purple, chased that one out of play with 5:40 left to go here. First quarter action.
Yeah, and NDP is controlling the possession right now. And right as I say that, he checks him and he steps out of bounds.
That's Alex Puccino, who I finally got his name and number correct. Sorry about that, Alex. And then he throws it away. Tremendous play by Bergamo. Bergamo racing along the far alley and now takes it to X. And looking out front.
Nice save. Unbelievable save by Liam Bailey right there. Point blank shot. Able to get a stick on it. And now they're clearing.
You know, I think Jackson Underwood may have helped out on that one too. Good clear by Brophy. And this
goalie's going over. You got to get a man back. Let's see if he pushes it. What's he going to do? Smart.
Melvin draws Siegel, and there's the takeaway.
That's a tough matchup. Now your goalie has to run all the way back and get in the goal.
He's going to make it all right. Here is Boyer going to work, and a timeout by Notre Dame.
Smart timeout. Value the possession. Get the ball. There's 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Value that ball. Let's see if Doug Lipka can set up a play or see what they're going to elect to do on offense.
So Brophy scored with 9:27 left to go here in the first. They got on the board to take a 1-0 lead. Then Notre Dame got scores from Jake Smith. One of the highlights of the year, no doubt, that coast-to-coast in Bergamo.
Yeah, I mean, both great lacrosse players. You know, Bergamo is going to University of Arizona next year. However, I think he had a few Division I lacrosse looks as well. You know, maybe he elected to go to U of A. Just it's in state. But phenomenal talent, has a great shot, a left-handed player. You know, it's tough to guard those lefties too. You're used to just guarding all these righties in practice, and then you get matched up on a lefty, and it's a little unorthodox.
Yeah, he'll be playing for Matt Blamey's Wildcats, who really turned their fortunes around this year. And I don't know if Matt's here tonight or if he's listening to the broadcast, but I think Max is going to be a nice addition. And that's a team that should be even better next year. They get Casey Merriman back, and they've got a strong, strong defense. Yeah,
I didn't follow too much of the University of Arizona's lacrosse program this year, but, you know, there's a ton of talent in Arizona. So if Matt Blamey's not here, you know, I would get out here because there's some solid talent out here. There's kids that can, you know, have potential to go play in college, whether at Division I or MCLA, and I'd be recruiting two of the best teams out in Arizona right now.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of college lacrosse, our game today is sponsored by Ottawa University Arizona Lacrosse. They're starting their 2020 program in MCLA 2 next year. They're putting $50 million in renovations and new buildings up there. They got a great campus as Jake Smith pulls the trigger after the restart, with Notre Dame leading it with 4:39 left to go in the first.
Bergamo has it back at X. We've matched up with Joe Bottini.
Yeah, Bottini.
Bottini, excuse me.
And he's had a tremendous year. I think the one thing is Smith dodging.
Boom.
That is a powerful shot, and he's got number 2.
Again, incredible. Just shows off his speed. Actually gets to the inside. So typically in lacrosse, if you're going to go that side, you're going to put the stick in your left hand. But, I mean, the kid is so fast that he can get to the spot of the field of where he wants to be and then just pick his poison. And here we go. Like I said, inside, and just leaves it in his right hand, runs past 2 defensemen, and just sticks the ball in the back of the net. For me, if I'm Coach Whitman, I'm putting a pull on him, and I think I'm going to begin to press out. Play him a little bit further out. Make him work to get the ball.
This is our 4th face-off of this Division I state championship. And a much, much needed win there for Brophy.
Yeah, they haven't had the ball for a little bit. So, look, if I'm valuing the ball right here. Try to get the ball, and they call a timeout. Smart move. They haven't had the ball in a while. Get the ball around, value the ball, value the possession, and see if you can get a shot.
Absolutely. So it was a much-needed ground ball by Sam Scanlon, the junior defenseman for the Brophy Broncos. 4:04 on the clock. And I was just getting ready to say, when Jake Smith scored that, I noticed that Brophy hasn't had the ball a whole lot of late. They started out fine, but over the last 4 or 5 minutes, Notre Dame's dominated possession. You can't hang with this team if you allow that. It'll be
Possessions are key. Ground balls. I coach a 14U team. They're sitting right in front of me, but I tell them ground balls win games. If you have the ball, if you have the possession, you're likely going to score more. And for me, ground balls are everything. Like, again, you value the ball. And look, it's 3-1 right now. Brophy's down 2. There's no need to go into panic mode. In that huddle, maybe take a deep breath and say, "Hey, boys, let's play lacrosse. We've made it this far. We're here for a reason. It's time to play." And then if I'm Coach Lipka in the huddle, I'm like, let's take it to these guys. Let's show them who the defending state champions are, and let's be assertive, and let's be aggressive, and let's make our mark out here.
Now, your company is P40. What do you guys do over there?
Yeah, so I run an LLC, P40 Lacrosse. Use my platform as a professional lacrosse player to help give back to the game. I run clinic, camps, consulting for high schools. So, ironically, last fall I ran Brophy's off-season program, and then in season I helped out with NDP and assisted with practices as well. So, there's a little conflict of interest, but I just want a great game. I'm honestly not rooting for anyone out here. I just like to use my platform to give back to the sport.
Well, maybe you can give them a point of contact later on. Brophy trying to cut this to a 1-point deficit. Here's Paul, whose older brother Alex played here, and he strikes with a big left.
That is a big boy move. That's a right to left split, shooting that ball off stick. Hardest shot for the goalie to save is off hip. Brian Ball picks it up about 15 yards, right to left split, and fires it off stick. I mean, as great as a goalie Josh is, that's a phenomenal shot.
And like Jake Smith, Paul had something behind it too. That wasn't an egg. So it's 3-2 now. Brophy, they got the big face-off win, and they were patient in the 6-on-6 settled situation. And
yeah, I mean, if you're Coach Jack Woodman, you just call a timeout. That's what you want to see. That's it. You're happy. You didn't waste a timeout, and now you're getting the ball back. And if I'm this pole, maybe you push it a little bit, but now you just value the ball. See, that's a little bit too much, trying to do a little extra. Get the ball to your attackman and value the ball. Live to fight another day.
And Ventura, great job, but then Brophy gets it right back, and the freshman Cole Rassis.
How about this matchup? Freshman Cole Rassis, who has maybe, I think I saw it earlier, 50-some points against arguably the player of the year in the state of Arizona, who's going to Furman University. Freshman versus senior.
Yeah, 52 points for Cole this year. 6 in our opening game on APN, our game of the week against Chaparral.
Way to make your impact. Hello, world. Hello, Arizona. Ooh.
That's going to
draw a flag.
That should be the old illegal.
Great slide. The kid beat his guy, but maybe just a little bit too high.
So that'll be an illegal body check going against another outstanding defender in Blake McKeon. Well, 1 minute personal foul with 2 minutes 53 seconds to go here in the first.
Yeah, let's see what Brophy has on their extra man offense. It looks like they're going a straight 3-3, but just because you start in a 3-3 doesn't mean you're going to end in it. So let's see what they have.
Well, that one was.
Well, he's feeling a little happy. He just stuck that last one, and he's like, you know what? Let me give it another go.
Brophy, and they back up the shot.
I would shoot it if I'm number 4 Xander Welty. They don't respect you, go ahead and fire it.
And he does.
Boom. Great save by Josh Calvin.
Yep, great save.
Looks like they're locking the crease, and their 2 long poles are just fighting up top.
Welty, will he do it again? Back to Cole, and now Paul with the right. He scored earlier with the left. Calvin, that one.
One-on-one ground ball here.
Yeah, ricocheted all the way back down to the other box.
They're calling offsides.
Notre Dame.
Calling a hold on Brophy. Ball goes back to NDP, and the ball is in one of your best players' stick right here.
I think this is a great matchup with Bottini.
Yeah, if I'm Bottini, I'm just going to sit and work. Meaning, get in your defensive position and not throw too many checks.
Now he draws a slide and then tries to go from a knee. And
I'm not sure what a push call, okay.
It's going to be Notre Dame. So you've got Bergamo. You've got to give him the respect. But how much sliding and how much double teaming, you can't afford it with some of the other weapons that Notre Dame has out there.
Right. So
you got to pick your spots.
They're playing mostly. They want to beat their guys one-on-one. And right now, at least now they're finally shutting Jake Smith off a little bit, which is fine. But back at X, and they're bringing it now, you hopefully play great defense that you don't have to slide. But for a guy like Bergamo, you're conscious of where he is at all times on the field.
We're down to 1:15 in this first quarter. Division I, Arizona Lacrosse League State Championship on APN video. Nice takeaway. That was a good check by Andrew Court. The sophomore's been doing it all year long.
I think they converted Court from the Brophy basketball team as well. So, it's awesome to see sticking his hand and utilizing his athleticism and experience playing basketball on the lacrosse field.
Well, Jake Smith on the ride here, and
I don't know what they're calling.
I think that was an illegal tackle.
Coach Lipko over there stressing that he might have stepped out of bounds, but you got to play to the whistle.
So a flag is down, 36 seconds left to go. Brophy down 3-2 in this Division I state championship game.
If I'm Brophy, I'm holding the ball to the last second. Or if you have a great shot, take it. But if you hold the ball in the quarter ends, you're going to start with the ball on the offense end of the field on extra man.
Alex trying to get hands clear, looking for an open guy. Down to 8 seconds.
Again, they don't need to score. If they have a good look, take it. If not, hold the ball. Don't need to shoot.
And they will hold the ball. So some good coaching over there by Zach Whitman. He is assisted by Parker Dickerson, Mark Hack, and Nick Latham. And at the end of one quarter of play, It's Brophy trailing Notre Dame 3-2. And we'll take a quick timeout. We will take a quick timeout. This is a All right, we're back here from Phoenix College, home of the Phoenix College Bears. Of course, they've done away with junior college football in this state, which I think is a monumental mistake, but I think I can say that. This is my broadcast. So
You can do whatever you want when you own APN Video.
That's right, and this is the first time I've had a chance to publicly say I totally disagree with it, but yeah, that's just my opinion. But we got a barn burner here, and we got a lot of strategy. We got a lot of things to talk about, and a good 3-2 game so far.
Yep, and we're going to start this second quarter again with Brophy on extra man offense. And last time they were on extra man, they didn't capitalize. I think it hit a pipe, or maybe goalie Josh Calvin made an awesome save, and it actually ricocheted over to the other end of the field. So the way that they were playing it, they were locking the crease. So there's a crease guy on offense, and NDP elected to lock the crease and then have their two guys up top fight and play the three midfielders or three offensive players that Brophy has. So ideally, you want to draw a guy out far enough that he plays you, and then you throw it to the guy that's open, what we call in the cross a 2-on-1, and then making NDP fight back and play against it.
Notre Dame had scored 3 in a row before the Paul goal came in that 9th minute of play. And that was an ill-advised shot, or very good defense by Adam Boyer, who's really come on with 19 points, plus he had 2 points to add on to that in the semifinals. Our stats are not updated. They did not update the stats after the semis, so.
And now NDP's electing to string it, meaning that,
they just tied it up on a blistering shot that rattles the back of the cage, and that's Dickens.
Awesome shot. Down to that right low angle, shooting it up above Josh Calvin.
That comes with 11:27 left to go here in the first.
Yeah, we got a 3-3 ball game. Going back to the face-off X, where we talked about before, possession, ground balls are key. So let's see who comes up with the ball. There he is, our guy, 14, Zach Siegel, coming up with a tough ground ball to get the purple team back on offense.
So the face-offs are even. Number 14 doing it again. And what a year he had. 7 goals, 11 assists as a long stick midfielder. Maybe some of those were as a defender.
Yeah, and I have down 80 ground balls as well, meaning he's going offense, defense, taking wings on the face-off, and just controlling the ball. I don't know who elects player of the years and how that is done, but he has got to be in your contention.
Yeah, definitely. I know Coleman Owen with the offensive numbers that he has had, but I mean, this is just something. In fact, I've been doing this. I've been in this league for 15 years, and I've never seen a long stick player do anything like this before.
Well, that's why he's going to Furman as well.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see if Brophy can clear her. They've had struggle during the season and even in this game, and you got to find the open guy. Like if you're Brophy, push aside, make them play you, and then stretch the middle of the field. So right now we have 2 guys on our near side just sitting here.
Yep.
It's not doing them any good.
And now Liam Bailey is left his goal. And they take a quick shot, which will give him, and they backed it up, so gives Liam Bailey a chance to retreat back to his goal.
What I love about Liam Bailey, he makes fantastic saves, but he's not afraid to push the ball up the field either. He's an athlete. He recognizes NDP's playing great defense. They're riding the ball, and he feels comfortable bringing the ball over there, and he even just pushed transition.
And you know what? You don't see too many goalies at the high school level do that.
You don't see many goalies do that at any level.
No.
So, hats off to Liam. Fantastic athlete, fantastic goalie.
Yeah.
Keeping his team in the game so far.
Brophy trying to win their first state championship since 2013 when they beat Desert Vista. That was the first of 4 state finals for Dan Lannon's Desert Vista Thunder. They went on to win 2 straight in 14 and in 15.
Coming around from X. Wow.
And what a shot that time.
Drew Scheiman?
Drew Scheiman finds the promised land, and it's 4-3 Brophy.
Great dodge. So he sets his guy up, right? He's a right-handed player. He's at X, pushes to his right hand, rolls back for his left, burns his guy, and then snaps it off as he's continuing his dodge, coming to the left wing.
Yeah, we got a little late on that one. Tremendous play by Drew Scheiman, only a sophomore.
The future's bright for him. Again, we talked about Brophy's offense. A ton of freshmen, ton of sophomores out there. Regardless of how this game goes for Brophy, the future's bright.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Zach Whitman, who you got to give credit to a lot of those Bo Pick wins. I mean, he was, part of that brain trust.
Yeah, Zach Whitman played at Harvard. Not only shows how good of a lacrosse player is, but also how smart he is.
Yeah. Well, this team is drastically better than last year's.
I'm newer to Arizona. I'm newer to the Arizona lacrosse scene. But, for Brophy to make it this far, and as you alluded to, comparison to their season last year, this is a success. And I know coaches and, parents over there, successes if you win the championship. But, to make it this far, have a great season, you can hang your hat on something.
Good defense by Grant Boyer, who, like I said earlier, had a very good game against Desert Vista. 8:30 on the clock, second quarter action.
Yeah, Notre Dame Prep's defense, a ton of big kids out there. Number 8, Grant Boyer, awesome save by Josh Calvin again, and he gets the ball out of his stick early, trying to get the ball and push transition. And who do you get the ball to? Your best athlete, your best player, and just punt return it. Something that he knows from the football side of the field.
And here he goes again. He's went coast to coast once, and he's just done it again. Jake Smith, unbelievable. And we're tied at 4 with 8:03 left to go here.
Is that his? I think that's his second goal of the game. Second or third goal of the game. Third goal of the game, but that's his second going coast to coast.
Coast to coast, absolutely. Here, unbelievable.
Again, it's tough to say step up and try to just knock him off balance as he's full speed going through, but you got to at least try to slide body there, maybe take a hit, put your pride aside and try to slow that train down a little bit.
He is a train. He's got one of the fastest shots in the state. And I don't know. I saw him all last year. I'm not sure. I think he's gotten stronger.
Well, when you're going to Texas and going for a full ride for play football, you got to believe that Texas football coach is telling you better be living in the weight room if you want to step on the field next year as a true freshman. And it looks like he's doing that, right?
Ryan Roach got the ground ball and then gets molested at midfield. No flag. And then there's Clausen, and then he gets an elbow, and they finally call one.
And now, good things happen when you pick up tough ground balls.
They're playing on, and Siegel goes to work with the long stick.
That's as impressive as that is for Zach Siegel. That's a great save by Liam Bailey, staring down a long pole with a 6-foot stick about 8 yards away from you.
Liam Bailey, I mean, he's been doing this all season long. He's one of the elite goalies in this state. So it's a 30-second technical foul against Brophy. This is the first time that the Saints will be in a man-up situation.
Yep, and we have Zach Siegel out there playing in the top left spot with his long pole. Jake Smith in the middle of the field. Let's see what kind of offense they can generate.
And it's almost like a basketball team that has like a big guy like Charles Barkley down low, but then you got guys out here that can shoot threes. It's hard to defend.
Yeah, if you want to think about it, play the basketball analogy. Again, you have that big guy down there. If you get the ball to him, everyone's going to suffocate and respect him. And then you dish the ball on the outside and live with a 15-yard step down like we just saw.
That wasn't a bad look by Jake.
Well, if I'm Jake Smith and I have my hands free for half a second, I'm shooting the ball every single time.
Got it. 4-4 tie with 7 minutes to go. And the penalty is released. So Brophy gets back, and a quick shot by Brooks. Technically, he was still shooting 6 on 5 because the guy who came on wasn't even in the play.
And they elect to play Jake Smith now with 26. Jack Taylor out there, who's playing with a short stick still, but they're pressuring out a little bit further.
Bergamo drew a flag, could have drawn another one, and this is going to be a cross-check against Brophy, and it looks like it might go on number 7, Joey Bottini.
NEPA, I think 0 for 2, 0 for 1 on extra man. Getting their third chance here. Let's see if they can generate some offense. Again, similar to what we alluded to or talked about with Brophy, you need to draw a guy and then dish the ball. And if you have that shot, take it. If not, draw the next guy and play that 2-on-1 game that we mentioned.
It was actually a slash. That was the Guns N' Roses penalty. Do you get
playing a little hidden ball check over here? Let's see what's going on.
They've done it before.
I don't know who has the ball, to be honest.
And Brooks pulls the trigger.
Interesting move there. Usually when you have an extra guy on offense, you don't need to go into some hidden balls. You can just play unsettled. But I'm not the coach. Great save again by Bailey.
And Brooks, who did not play in the semifinal.
You have a guy open in the middle of the field right now. His stick's waving. If I get this ball, I'm trying to get to an attackman as you're still man down.
This is Cole Wagner, and he finally gives it up to Cole. Cole Rasmus. Boy, I'll tell you, you're going to hear this young man's name for the next 3 years.
Yeah, similar to players like Cade Van Rappaport, a guy like Cole can put Arizona on the map. I think Cole's one of those kids that could probably go play in college, and it'd be so great to see him go play and then have the announcer say from Arizona. Yes. You don't see that often.
Not enough, but I think it's going to change. I really do. And I think the efforts of people like yourself, and we're going to have Ottawa University here at halftime. We're going to have Ryan Erickson and maybe, whoever else they decide to bring out here. And had to step over the defender. Yeah,
he might have tripped. It looked like he got juked out of his shoes a little bit, but I think he might have tripped.
Shot was taken by Alex Buccino. And a nice clear for Notre Dame.
Gotta stop the ball.
This is Boyer. But Boyer kind of went into the teeth of that defense a little too much.
Jake Smith has the ball, guarded by a long pole now. Still able to get to where he wants and shoots the ball, and another shot and another goal. I'm not too sure what you can say now. I mentioned putting a pole on him, locking him off is an option, but, the kid is a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal talent, and, sometimes you just got to, put your hands up in the air and say he's going to get 1 or 2 of those. Going back to the face-off X, we have Canella matched up with Roach.
It's not charging yet.
All right, well, we had a little technical difficulty there as we were off for just a short time, but thanks for bearing with us. We have a timeout. So Jake Smith with 4 goals now.
4th goal. Phenomenal goal. Again, I don't know what you do now. If you're Zach Whitman, do you elect to play 5-on-5 and just shut him off? That's something that I think at halftime, there's only 3 minutes left. I think you play straight up now, but at halftime, you discuss the potential of just playing 5-on-5 and say, look, guys, we're taking him out of the game completely, and we're going to play 5-on-5 defense.
You do run the risk of opening things up for Max Bergamo, too.
I think at this point, you might live and die by that. Let them, let other players beat you. Jake Smith, I think 4 goals, all coming off individual efforts, which, individual efforts, goals you can live by, but when there are guys that are running right down to the middle of the defense, I don't know. I'd rather have someone beat and then have that guy shoot it.
Well, I think the pace of the game, except for maybe a couple of those coast-to-coast, I think this does kind of favor Brophy. I think this is the kind of pace that they would prefer to play with or at.
Yeah, I think Brophy would prefer to play at a little slower pace in terms of, NDP not pressing the ball and trying to go up and down the field and score. Again, Brophy's offense is, predicated on moving the ball around, like we're seeing right now, and then taking the second dodge and trying to get an opportunity.
There's Scheinman, hands free, and
great
Colton.
Save. Great look and great save. That's beautiful across right there. Drew Scheinman, guy said it's a pick. He beats the guy off the dodge, has a wide open shot, and Josh Calvin making an off-stick save.
This Brophy team just tremendous. Bottini just slapped Bergamo in the face.
Maybe a little bit of acting, but that's smart veteran lacrosse, right? Trying to draw the foul. Maybe it's a hard check or maybe it's a little high, and do a little selling. You're a veteran now. This is your 4th year. You've been to 3 championship games.
Well, out of X is Galvin, Brendan Galvin.
Yeah, let's see what Notre Dame can get into. It looks like, again, they're playing a little bit more one-on-one lacrosse. We haven't seen too many sets, and now they're finally shutting someone off, or shutting Jake Smith off, which I think is the smart thing to do. But they have 14 on offense with a pole playing offense, dodging.
Sanchez 10 is in there now. Bergamo. In that Bottini matchup, that's that one-on-one. And Hackbarth, who has not scored yet, took a wild shot, backed up nicely by Notre Dame with 1:49 left to go here in the first half. And now Siegel jogs back and turns back into a defenseman.
Yeah, a little off topic here, but I think the next thing for Arizona lacrosse, if we want to take that next step, is maybe adapting some of these college rules. Seeing an 80-second shot clock, I think that's going to have a faster pace of play. These both teams are playing pretty fast right now, but if these boys want to, or have the passion of going to play above, and if we truly want to help grow the game out here, I think we need to adopt to some of the rules that we're playing with in college and in pro right now.
Boy, Boyer really stayed with it. It was a great defense by Jackson Underwood, who's been one of the stellar defensive players in the league this year.
Brophy's got to find a short stick, get the ball in his hands, and clear the ball.
Got to get it over.
He can go over.
Line.
They're offsides. They're offsides right now, unless they have a player in the box. But it looks like they're offsides.
Yeah, they're
still offsides.
Yeah, they have 7 players with 40 seconds on the clock.
Refs missed one, but they're human too.
Yeah, Mark Siegel is absolutely beside himself over there on that sideline for Notre Dame.
Yeah, they were offsides for about 10, 15 seconds, and no one saw it.
And the clock was still running even though the ball was out of bounds.
Yeah, we got 20 seconds left. Got to generate something. This is the freshman right here, Caleb Greenfield. See what he can get to. A little force in the middle.
Got to get that ball out, and they did. That's a nice play right there by Grant Boyer. 7 seconds on the clock.
Maybe jam the crease right now.
And Siegel intercepts.
This is still good if it goes in.
and sends it downfield, and that is the end of the first half. And I think we've been treated to some awfully fun lacrosse here today. 13-12 victory earlier today for the Desert Mountain Wolves over Corona. Both teams had a great year. And here at halftime for our Division I game, it's Notre Dame 5. I think we need to switch that up. Notre Dame 5 and Brophy 4. And we'll be back in just a moment. All right, we're back here at Phoenix College as we've seen a great game so far. The Brophy Broncos and the Notre Dame Saints, a one-point game, 5-4. Ryan Erickson with Ottawa University Lacrosse joins us again. And Ryan, I'll tell you, we've been treated to some great lacrosse here, but the Ottawa University, Arizona, they're starting their program in 2020. We want everybody to know this campus is going to look amazing in the next year or two. A lot of money's being put into it, and it's an opportunity for a lot of Arizona kids to further their college and keep playing.
We have a $50 million investment in the Odell Athletic Center. So it's a beautiful turf field, beautiful athletic complex, big gym. So we're really excited, and we're really excited to be here at this amazing event. You know, a lot of great lacrosse, especially this game. I mean, it's a top of the line. It's great to be here and really kind of see this sport growing out here in Arizona. And, you know, we're excited at Ottawa University to promote that and, you know, start our new program. So we're looking for kind of new members, new students to join our team. And we have scholarships available for them, too. So we're excited to have that and to see this game undergo,
Well, and I know there's a lot of things that we can't say on the air that need to be said to the students, but there are just some tremendous opportunities. What's the website they need to go to?
So the best way would be at ottawa.edu,
Okay.
And then that's, you know, just a quick Google search. And there's also the social media pages that you can give us a shout out at. But it's, you know, we have a great website, you know, really extensive, and it's a lot of program offerings.
And a new coach pretty soon.
Absolutely. So we're in the search for a coach. Super exciting, and we'll have a program underway. We'll be in the MCLA, so we'll be in the Division II, and then we're going to be competing against teams in Arizona, a little of West Texas, and some New Mexico. So so
NAU is in that too.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, Ryan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a quick break, and I think Monica will come back in. So send her in.
Absolutely.
And, we got about 6 minutes before the face-off. 5-4 Notre Dame. Five to 4 is our score here, back here at Phoenix College in Uptown Phoenix on just an absolutely beautiful day for lacrosse and anything else. The high today was 91 degrees, but it's really cooled off. It's really pleasant. We've seen a great first half. Brophy the chess. They're like playing chess with that team. They've stuck with their game plan, and if it wasn't for 4 goals by Jake Smith, Brophy would be in a much better situation. He's the leading scorer with 4 goals. He's went coast to coast twice. And I really don't remember the last time seeing somebody go coast to coast twice, not this year in the Arizona Lacrosse League. So the Brophy Broncos, led by Zach Widman, he's done a tremendous job his second year. I think he's both these coaches, Doug Lipka, he's assisted by Mark Siegel, and Tony Parkinson is their goalie coach. I think you're seeing the best of the best here in Arizona, 1 versus 2. And so just a lot of fun being here. And, special thanks to, Dan Lannon. He's, done a tremendous job, I think, with the league. He's a former Syracuse player, won 3 national titles for Syracuse. And just want to thank the league for allowing APN to be a part of Championship Day and bringing you guys the game of the week, and hope you've enjoyed it this year. So we are going to take another timeout, and we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching APN Video Sports. All right, we're back here at Phoenix College. Jeff Lowry along with Pat Harbison, and we're getting set for the second half. And what a first half of Arizona Championship High School Lacrosse we saw, brought to you by the Arizona Lacrosse League. And special thanks to our good friend Ryan Erickson and our good friends at Ottawa University, Arizona. So our opening face-off to start the second half, and got a nice unsettled ball here. And it's a lot of fun when the ball travels that far before someone decides to get the GB, and this is Notre Dame in the second half of this Division I state championship game is underway.
Yep, 5-4 Notre Dame, but this is why you play. There's two halves. You can look at it 0-0 and just for Brophy just battling. I mean, teams are going to go on runs. And, we have a great game.
Pat, it's amazing who got the ground ball in that was the face-off specialist, Ryan Roach.
From all the way in the middle of the field, all the way down there. Love it. Not giving up, battling for every possession.
Every GB. So, a little mistiming there. And I would say Notre Dame, we're in a close game, Pat. I think they need to get Hackbarth into the offense in some way.
Yep, I think, Jake Smith's doing a great job, but I think it's time to get other players involved. After the half, I'm sure Brophy's concentrated on Jake Smith, so maybe NDP has some things to counter. And if I'm Brophy, I'm trying to get the ball into who we have right now, 14, and then starting to get Xander Welty involved as well, back up at up top on the field.
He is so quick with the release, and that time it was Mason Donkersley, who I don't think took a shot that entire first half.
Nope, and it's time for both teams to get other players involved. Expand the offense. Not give up on your principles, but get other people touches.
At 27, who just was the ball carrier, Cole Rassis. It's hard to believe he is only a freshman.
Look forward to seeing his name fill up the stat sheet for years to come.
Well, here's Brian Paul, one of the senior leaders. I was trying to say earlier, and I kind of ran out of time, but Brian's older brother, Alex, was on that team that went to the finals 2 years ago, had a great career at Brophy.
Oh, great check.
Man, tremendous job by Grant Boyer. Boyer just quietly makes play after play.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. I actually practiced with NDP a couple times in preparation for my season, and going up against him, it's no easy task. The kid is big. He has a great stick, and he's not afraid to throw a few checks out there.
Absolutely, and his brother's out there, Adam Boyer, who had 2 points in that semifinal win over Desert Vista. Both those guys were instrumental in that big 14-2 win last week. Tommy Moore, who missed a lot of playing time this year, number 3, the ball carrier for Brophy, gets the clear, flag down. And Brophy's going to be a man up as they trail 5-4 with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the third.
Drew Scheiman has a shorty. Your best attackman has a short stick on him who's used to playing against a long pole. This is a great matchup to try and expose. I might have got rid of it a little too early, but he still has number 3 on him. I try to work the ball around this way and maybe take it to X and try and dodge and beat your guy behind the goal.
Welty attacking from the alley.
Great look.
Cole Rassis from Welty.
What a great look by Xander Welty, a midfielder dodging on one end of the field, throwing it cross crease to the nifty Cole Rassis to get the ball in the back of the net.
That comes at the 8:47 mark here in quarter number 3. This is not an assist, but it should be. I would say
that's an assist.
Yep.
Throwing it cross crease, maybe taking 1 or 2 cradles and getting it out. If he took a couple steps, I would not credit that, but that's a great look.
No, that was after looking at the replay.
Great look and an awesome celebration right there. Look, getting everyone involved.
So we're tied again. This is our 4th tie of the game.
This game might go down to the end, just the way that it's that we've had so far in the first 3 quarters.
Look at Canella.
He's battling, but look, there's 3 NDP jerseys, and they come up with the ball.
And there's Clausen. And McKeon is going to try to save it. Now, Brophy was the last to touch it, but it's going to be...
I'm not sure who they're awarding the ball to right now.
Yeah,
Looks
they
like
really
the
haven't
refs
said.
are meeting in the middle. They're giving the ball to NDP. Jake Smith probably just going to run the ball over the midfield line. I'd slide early. Go now. Go now. Even send 2 for right now.
A good opportunity, and
that's what Jake's going to start doing now. If you're going to slide aggressively and send 1 or 2 guys, he's going to become a distributor, and that's an awesome look to Bergamo right there. You just got to finish it. Might call in the crease.
They are.
If I'm Brophy, pick the ball up and try to push transition. They haven't done a great job clearing the ball. They need to have more midfielders going back to the ball to help the goalie clear the ball. Too many midfielders right now hanging up at the midfield line and not supporting their long pulls. And for Liam, he needs to push aside and then find the open guy. They're on sides.
Well, Liam again.
Let's see if he decides to pull it. Nope. I'd go what we call in lacrosse yellow, meaning slow down, get the ball around, get your players in the field, work for a good shot.
Now the spacing for Notre Dame, I mean, how they were marking up seemed like textbook on that last clear.
They've done an awesome job riding the ball. They have made it very difficult. I think Liam Bailey has run over the field 4 times now, which, oh my gosh, great move. See if they can stick it. Oh, I would have shot that.
That was a little ankle breaker by Drew Scheiman. Now Welty pulling the trigger, and he's found the promised land.
Xander Welty making his presence known. I kind of called it out a little bit. I think Xander needs to get involved in the game, and sure enough, right to right split, gets to the middle of the field and sticks it high to high. That's one that you might put on your highlight film when you're trying to send some stuff to some college coaches.
6-5, and Brophy enjoying their second lead of the ball game. They led 1-0. And then Notre Dame reeled off 3 straight in the first to take a 3-1 lead. We were at 5-4 Notre Dame at the half. But Brophy has scored both goals here in the second half, third quarter action, and with 7:11 to go, they lead 6-5.
Yep, well, NDP's been there before. It's the third quarter. It's early. I know Coach Lipka just called a timeout to maybe calm his players down. And then if I'm Brophy, leave that foot on the pedal. Leave that killer instinct mentality and keep attacking.
Yeah, Welty, I mean, he's got a massive shot.
I've worked with Xander in the offseason individually, and to see his game, from when I started working with him until now, it's awesome to see. I mean, another player who the sky's the limit. He's participated on Under Armour All-American teams, underclassmen teams, and another player similar to Cole Rassis, who's young, and exciting to see where his talents can take him lacrosse-wise.
Xander only had 20 points this year. I mean, when you watch him play tonight, you would think a lot more.
Yeah,
I think double.
I think a few things to that regard. One, points aren't everything, right? He's a distributor. Yeah. The other thing is I think he's getting guarded by fantastic defenders. So Brophy's utilizing him to set up their offense and then get the ball around the horn and allow other players to be, quote unquote, the playmaker. Next year, you might see, Brophy rely on him a little bit more when guys like Brian Paul are gone. Yeah. But for right now, he's settling into that role pretty nicely.
Well, we got another timeout. Are we sure that they called the timeout before?
I thought so, but do you only get 2 timeouts in high school lacrosse? Mm-hmm. 2 per quarter?
Two per half.
Not sure who called that timeout there. Not sure if Brophy called it or NDP. If NDP called that timeout, that would be their last one. So interesting to see what we get, if we can get some clarification here. Still trying to get some clarification here, but nonetheless, 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third. 6-5 Brophy And we've talked about it. NDP's been here. They have the experience. You know, I don't think they're really in panic mode. We have a quarter and a half to play. You know, there's a ton of time. And we mentioned it. Lacrosse is a game of runs. One team's going to get hot. The next team's going to go on their run. It really comes down to that last, few minutes and who's going to keep their composure, especially in a championship game. And that's where I think the favor is to NDP, the composure, the experience. And, for a team like Brophy, might try not to burst your bubble too quick. Play high, play with passion, but, don't get too down, don't get too high.
Okay, so Notre Dame looking to equalize, 6:40 on the clock.
Yeah, and it looks like we just got clarification that they're inspecting the field. I don't know what they're looking at, but maybe there's something on the field or whatnot.
So I think that first timeout was not charged to Notre Dame.
Gotcha. And Notre Dame right now trying to get into a two-man game. What we call in lacrosse is a big little. There's a short stick back at X and there's a long pole. And Bergamo, a guy that's guarded by a long pole, is trying to have his teammate who's guarded by a short stick set the pick so he can get that short stick matchup.
He's got Hackbarth right out in the pipe.
He had a guy wide open on the crease, but he decided to take a backhanded shot. Aggressive move there, but Brophy backing the ball up, and they're clearing again. Let's see if NDP can get into their tough ride and cause a turnover.
What about Jackson Underwood out hustling? It looked like Brendan Galvin.
Yeah, it's going to be the little things in this game that's going to win the game. Hustling, ground balls, and for me, clearing the balls. Brophy going to be able to clear the ball, and they're offsides again. Oh, no, they don't. They have a guy far wing. And,
Well,
excuse me, they're offsides.
They are offsides. You were right the first time. I'll tell you, we've been treated to a good one so far, and we're hoping that it's going to go down to the last seconds, like their last meeting.
NDP likes to push quick, which I think is awesome. They like to push transition, play fast.
What about Botini there on the takeaway?
Tough ground ball, too.
Wow.
One thing about Brophy is I don't think they like or feel comfortable playing down. And here's another timeout by Zach Widman and Brophy.
So that will be their second of the game.
And that would be their last one, correct?
I don't think they called that first one. I think there was something to do with the field.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, it looks like Dan Lannon out there inspecting one of the patches. Not sure if they can throw down sod at this point of the game or throw down something to help keep it playable.
all right, so let's go back to 2017. And this was Brophy and Notre Dame. And this is Max Bergamo. I think we need to speed this up a little bit. And that gave them a 2-goal lead.
Wow.
But then Brophy came right back. And Jack Clark finding Lesher. I think that was Lesher at the time. And it's a 1-point game. 1:49 left to go.
Look at those fans.
It was incredible. This is Arcadia High School. 7 seconds left to go. Jack Clark, a man up Brophy, and Coleman sees at the buzzer.
Game-winning save.
And Notre Dame wins their first ever Division I state championship. They've been to ironically, in Division II, they've won one, and they've been to the championship 3 times.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that goal is, but that's something that, years from now when you're back at your, 10, 30-year reunion, you're talking about, and everyone's mentioning it, and you're reliving the glory days. You're still the man that you were back in high school. And in today's day and age, video and replay, similar things to you, their kids can go ahead and watch it and see dad make the game-winning save. Back, for my parents, they talked. My dad used to say he could dunk, and I don't believe him at all. But there's no video evidence, so I guess I got to believe him a little bit.
All right, so Brophy on the offense, up 6-5, 4:46 left to go here in the third. From P40, Pat Harbison, Jeff Lowry, Dylan Olson on camera. Dickens, who has one of the goals here for the Brophy Broncos. They've had balanced scoring. They've had 4 different guys score. Actually, 5 different players have scored for them.
Out of curiosity, how many of those are assisted? Do you have that?
I may have missed that first one. Cole scored, shot, beautiful save that time at point-blank range. And that, of course, is Josh Calvin. A couple of them.
So balanced offense, dodging hard, looking for the open man. That's just beautiful lacrosse.
Well, and I don't know if it means anything, as Paul's trying to get that left hand free.
Shoot that.
Man, I'm telling you, Paul, I don't know what his dominant hand is, to be honest with you.
That's a compliment in the game of lacrosse.
Yeah, sure.
Two-handed players.
But every time I watch Brophy, I mean, you get in the third quarter and you'll see 7, 8 different players have scored. And I just think that I think it's good. It's fun when, somebody like Jake Smith has 4 tonight. But right now, Notre Dame needs another.
I think they need another guy to step up. Or we mentioned it. Jake's now being able to run by players, and guys like Bergamore need to finish their shot.
And Max has missed a few here tonight. 3:30 on the clock. Brophy just lures you into this false sense of security like that. That was a good look by Dunkersley.
Well, they're playing patient lacrosse. They have the lead. They're feeling a little bit comfortable, but they're not in a rush that NDP is. NDP likes to play fast. They like to score that goal. They don't like being down. Brophy is going to try to break you down. They're going to dodge. They don't have the shot. They're going to dodge again. And eventually, hopefully, they're going to break you down that they have a wide open goal.
And right now, they are holding possession. We're down to 3 minutes. This has been about a 2-minute possession.
Well, it looks like Jake Smith's playing some tough defense out there on the wing, not letting dominant midfielders like Xander Welty get the ball.
Jake, number 1 at the bottom of the screen, yeah.
So he's making his presence known. And here's Cole.
Well, that's what he did against Desert Vista. He went after their number 1 player, and that lockdown defense, and he can do it with the best of them because of his athleticism.
Yeah, and here's a freshman out there on defense for NDP, Christian Buteri.
Yep. Oh.
They call it a high hit.
Zach Siegel didn't see the screen coming up by Alex Bucino. And the crowd is saying you can't do that. Let's see. Now, hopefully this is not a non-releasable.
Honestly, I missed it, so I didn't see it at all.
I don't think it should be because...
a high hit, but I think that we saw 1 minute.
Well, it's so hard to see the hand signals.
Illegal contact. Zach trying to make his argument known. I think saying maybe I didn't see it.
Well, he got blindsided a little bit, but I mean, it was a clean. It was a good play by Brophy.
Let's see what Brophy is going to come up with. They have the heart and soul of their defense off the field. The leader of their defense. They're playing 6-on-5. Looks like they're in a 3-out look. A 3-3, and they find the guy in the middle of the crease for a shot and a score.
Wow, there it is. And Brophy is enjoying their biggest lead of the night. Mason Donkersley.
I mentioned early that, Brophy is maybe less experienced in terms of championship and has younger talent, but so far tonight, the leaders of the team have been some of these upperclassmen, and that's what you do. Big players make big plays in big games, and if you're a senior, regardless of what team, you want to go out on a high note.
I know you keep saying that, but, I feel like this is a veteran team, though. I kind of felt that after watching last week's game, the semifinals against Higley. They just seem in high-stress situations, and I know you coach those kind of situations. I mean, that's what's going to separate these two teams, is how you're going to do in this kind of situation.
Yeah, well, kudos to both coaches, right? Coach Doug Lipka, there's a flag right there, and then Coach Zach Woodman. I think both, every time there's a timeout or there's, we've seen issues with the field, they're probably telling their guys, it's just a game of lacrosse, take a deep breath, enjoy the experience, and the analogy, be where your feet are, live in the moment. And that's what you need to do against a guy like Jake Smith, is try to slow him down, even though it didn't really do much, but you got to put your body out there and slow him down as best as you can.
Boy, Brophy did a great job. 3 different Broncos made contact with Smith on that dodge.
And he still kind of got by him, right?
So it's going to be a slash against Brophy, and this will be a 1-minute infraction. There's only a minute 21 left to go here in the third.
Yeah, both teams trading penalties, trading extra man opportunities. We'll see. Brophy capitalized on the last one. Let's see what NDP can come up with.
Man up situation. Now Siegel is in there at long stick, number 14, but they got the big guy, Brooks Lang, who's still got a fever.
Yeah, I think if Zach Siegel's able to get one, I think that might change the tide of the game. Your heart and soul of your team, your leader, the guy that's the most passionate out there, and he's a long pull. If he can stick one, I think that changes the tide.
And thought maybe he pulled the trigger. Here's Jake, big right hand, and Liam got the stick on there.
He's playing phenomenal. I don't know if we're keeping stats on saves, but he's made quite a few tonight, and honestly, a ton of impressive ones as well.
All right, the clock hasn't restarted. It's stuck at 49. And now the officials are stopping play right in the middle of the...
Yeah, the NEP had a goal on the doorsteps, but referees calling stoppage to address the clock up there.
I'm not sure who is running the clock, if it's down there. It doesn't look like anybody's up here. Well,
I think even if, that's kind of weird. Like, even if the clock up there was altered, the refs are keeping the score on their, they should be keeping the time on their, in their pocket, but nonetheless, I guess it's confusing for some of the players on the field if you're looking at one clock and it's stopped.
I don't know how you can stop the game just because
that's what I'm alluding to, because the referees are supposed to have the clock in their pocket as well.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that was a scoring
That's a goal. That was a potential goal.
Yeah.
I mean, you miss that, then there's bigger issues, or maybe you give the hats off to Liam Bailey. But that's in my eyes, that was a goal right there.
I'll tell you what.
Look at the Brophy bench, though. They're all getting amped up. Guys jumping up and down.
There is a distinct difference. If we could pan back and show the 2 benches here, and I am a firm believer, if your bench has energy and they are making noise throughout a game, you're going to play a much better game.
Yeah,
I think it really makes a difference.
And that's what's awesome. If you have a great bench, it means you have a great group of individuals that are buying into your team and willing to know their role. There's guys at the end of the bench that are jumping up and down because they're hyped for the guys that are on the field. And when you win a championship, it's a team effort. It's not the 11 guys on the field that are playing. It's a whole collective unit, from the backup goalie to the starting attackman.
All right. Now,
and they're pressuring Jake Smith. This is what we talked about, Jeff. Making it hard for your best player, most athletic kid, to get the ball.
Max turned away by Bailey.
Great save.
And look at the ground ball here by
NDP hustling and knocks him out.
And Underwood took the brunt of that hit from Jake Smith, and he bounced right up.
So phenomenal save, but hats off to the NDP team for riding their butts off to get the ball back, to get an extra opportunity.
Well, they're one of the few teams that you see this year consistently on a ride.
Yeah, I think that's hats off to Coach Doug Lipka. Telling his boys, like, this is part of the game. This is our MO. This is what we're going to be known for. We're going to be known for athletic guys and putting pressure on the team. And I don't like this at all. Oh, I guess never mind. There was 1 second left, so he's chucking it down.
All right, so we've got 3 in the book, and we're coming to you from the home of the Phoenix College Bears, downtown Phoenix. We'll be back with the 4th quarter. It's the Division I state championship, and Brophy leads it 7-5. 2017 Division I State Championship. Notre Dame in possession, taking on the Brophy Broncos. Here's Bergamo going to work. He goes top shelf, and he's found the promised land. It's a 2-goal lead here in the fourth quarter for the Notre Dame Saints, looking for their first ever state title. With 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this Division I final. Now Brophy trying to cut it to a 1-point game, and they do. Patrick McNeil, the senior leader, at 29 points coming in on the assist from Jack Clark from X. And the Brophy faithful has hope. Now the Broncos down to the final seconds as Jack Clark swims through the defense. It's turned away by Marcus Kovacic. And the 2017 Division I State Finals belongs to the Notre Dame Saints, their first state championship in school history. And the final score from Arcadia High School, Notre Dame 11, Brophy 10. Well, that was the 2017 ending, and wouldn't it be kind of fun if we have a last-second save or goal to decide this one?
Well, this game is definitely going to come down to the wire. I know Brophy's up 7-5, but NDP has been there before. I keep saying it, so sorry if I'm getting annoyed, but they have the experience. They're down 2. You know, it takes a couple plays to get back into it. But I think Brophy, they're just as juiced, and you mentioned it in. They're experienced in their own way as well. They have upperclassmen that are taking the lead out there. This is going to be a big face-off to start the game. You know, 2 dominant face-off guys going at it, and who's going to come up with the ball?
Alex Canella, number 11 in the white, Brophy in the purple, number 11, Ryan Roach, who his goalie praised in our Game of the Week post-game interview. Josh Calvin says our guy is hugely underrated.
Face-off guys don't get too much love, but if you're winning 50-60%, you
and look at Clausen. That's a big GB. You think Doug Lipka says, hey, let's get out there and let's get a score quick?
You got to love guys like Clausen. I mean, 5 foot, I don't know, 6, 7, but
exactly.
You know, a jitterbug, picks up the ball, does the dirty work. Maybe his name's not in the stat sheet at the end of the game, but again, the little things that are going to help win the game.
All right, here's Max going to work. You got to give some credit to Bottini. He has played outstanding.
Yeah, great matchup all night long.
And they got the open man on the wing, and the score by Hagart, and it's now a 1-point affair.
Well, you mentioned it. Other guys need to get involved in the game, but that's a great assist by Max Bergamo. He beats his guy, draws a slide, and realizes, there's a guy wide open on the wing for a step-down shot. Way to finish it.
That comes 45 seconds into the fourth quarter.
And that might spark some energy for the NDP team over here.
Well, I talked to Mickey Miles Felton, the Hall of Fame coach from U of A, a couple of weeks ago when we were calling the U of A GCU game.
Big face-off here, big ground ball, possession back to NDP.
And that's Roach. Another ground ball for him.
The tides could be turning. Here's Jake Smith in transition.
Pulls the trigger, top to bottom.
Just like that. We're back in it, 7-7.
.03 left to go.
And we got ourselves a game, 7-7. Looks like they're taking Canella out of the game. I mean, 2 straight face-offs. I don't know if that's him pulling him out, but here we go on the screen. Jake Smith getting the ball, giving a little shimmy right to right, and just sticking it.
Man, he was backpedaling.
He has some velocity in that shot. New face-off guy out there for Brophy.
Well, Canella is a guy that, he doesn't just stop at the face-off. So I think they wanted to give him a little spell.
Big face-off, big ground ball here. Looks like
Robert Clark, their other face-off. And Notre Dame is, they were down on face-off wins.
What are they calling?
This has got to be a slash, I would say.
I thought it was a good check when he fell. I wonder if he's grabbing his shoulder or his leg here. But I thought it was a good check, and then, they stopped play right away. I don't think a flag was called.
I think you're absolutely right. There is no flag on this play. Now, Dan Lannon, the president of the Arizona Lacrosse League, who's out there, if we can zoom in a little tighter, and he sent out a notice to all the championship teams that, no extracurricular activity is going to be tolerated between the lines or in the stands.
Well, to be honest, I think this has been a very clean game. I don't think either team has been chippy at all. I think it's been a clean game. I don't think that was malicious at all. I think it was an overhead check. He got the stick, and I think he just fell wrong.
Well, and sometimes, when you get checked, and if you're on if you're back on your heels, I mean, it's just a matter of gravity.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get him up, and he's up, number 2.
Yeah, it's Adam Boyer, who he got hurt in last week's game.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulder. They're testing out to see if it's stable or not. So I think he just fell wrong, fell off on his shoulder.
Well, he's been kind of a gamer. He's really come on for this team. His dad is right outside the door here, and at every game he stands in the same spot. And I'm telling you, you will not see a more intense parent than Adam and Grant Boyer's dad.
Yeah, well, that intensity and that fire, is definitely instilled in the two boys. It's kind of funny. You have 8 on defense, one of the Boyer brothers, who's a big behemoth defenseman, and then you have the other Boyer who's, kind of a shifty midfielder in the middle of the field. So, two different styles of, built, but, both have high intensity and high energy.
Absolutely. 10:52 on the clock. We're in a 7-7 tie, and you're watching the Division I state championship. It's the Brophy Broncos, the best winning percentage in league history. They are second in all-time championships with 5. Of course, Chaparral, they were great for so many years, have 7.
Yeah, the Chaparral Firebirds, led by Ian Gray, UMBC alum. And is this Christian Bouter, the freshman?
Yes, he is, and he's been mixing it up.
And it's getting 60. Back to Brophy. NDP, we talked about it. Teams are going to go on runs, and it seems like right now NDP has their run. If I'm NDP, I keep my foot on the pedal just like this. Jake Smith running all the way down. Great defense by Brophy, sending 3-4 guys and just going to slide. Tough ground balls over here in the corner.
Pat, he had 4 guys on him, and he still wanted to bully his way through there.
If I'm Doug Lipko, I'm okay with that.
Are you?
Just
okay.
Be letting a playmaker make plays, and trying not to micromanage the game too much with number 1 Jake Smith. Got to throw that up the field. There's a wide open guy. Got to get across. He's still there. There you go. That stuff might be the first successful clear, but I don't like this move right here. I don't like that at all.
And Siegel came up from behind with the trail check.
Yeah, 29, Nick Preble. You've just played a ton of defense. You haven't really got a great offensive set, and you're trying to push a transition with a long pull. I don't think that's the time yet.
He didn't change his plane either. He just went straight to the goal. Now Paul, hands clear. And left it wide to the right. He dropped down, went sidearm, and a lot of coaches don't like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see Brophy get back to what they did successful. Spin the ball around a couple times, take a couple dodges, see what you can get, and then, continue to work and try to break down that NDP defense.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do right now.
Yeah, except they have Drew Scheinman dodging all the way up top. He's typically a attackman back behind the goal. And here's our matchup that we talked about. Zach Siegel, senior, going to Furman against the freshman Cole Rassis, and he just kind of manhandles him right there.
He sure did. And we haven't seen that happen to Cole. That doesn't happen to this freshman too often. Now McKeon.
Ground ball in the middle of the field.
It's who wants it more. There's Andrew Court. And look at Siegel. Siegel's always...
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere. It's tremendous effort. I mean, forget the skills, just the effort. It's just, I mean, really, you could take a game film of Notre Dame and say,
he's one of those players
effort.
that, he's going to Furman.
Yeah,
one of the best players in the state, but he's one of those players that if you had 11 more of them, and as I mentioned, he's a great skilled player, but if you had 11 more of those kids with heart, intensity, who cares, that's what you would love.
Yeah.
You'll take 11 of those versus, 11 kids going to the University of Maryland or Notre Dame.
Well, we got a flag down, so it looks like Notre Dame might be down one here.
Not sure why they're stopping play.
Well, there is a flag down.
Right.
Goal line.
I think Brophy still has the ball.
Yeah, I was thinking that
call.
too. Yeah. 7:45 left to go here in regulation.
We got a great game on our hands. 7-7. It's going to go down to the wire.
So we got a cross check. I can't see the number over there.
Well, it's not Zach Siegel, which is, great for this NDP man-down defense. But we haven't seen either team really convert on a high rate on extra man so far this game.
All right, Rasmus got 6 goals against Chaparral to start the season.
Yep, I'd get the ball around, and then if I'm number 4, Xander Welch, I'd look for that skip pass bottom right to number 6 on attack right now. Skip it down low. Of course, you got Zach Siegel there with a big stick.
Good defense. That's a nice check right there by Donahue, excuse me.
I don't know why you don't shoot that.
And they turn it over. That's the problem with, and I've said this, and you might disagree, and I'm certainly not a lacrosse coach, but sometimes when you have these long, deliberate possessions, you're almost asking to turn the ball over.
Yeah, and on extra man, you want to get that ball in and out of your stick. You're trying to find that open guy, which, number 4, Xander Welty saw him. But if the ball's staying in your stick and dying, that's not what you want to see on offense, let alone when you have an extra guy.
6:32 on the clock. Fourth quarter action, 7-7 tie. We had a 1-point affair in the Division II game earlier tonight, and congratulations to Desert Mountain. They defeated Corona. Both teams, tremendous year. Congratulations to both coaches. Bergamo, they got the numbers, and they scored.
There it is. NDP taking the lead again.
The iceberg has struck again.
Great individual effort by Max Bergamo. Beats his guy, able to draw the side, and looks backside for the 1-more.
And the celebration.
Yep, Canelo back there on the face-off. Canelo versus Roach.
So Notre Dame now up 1, 8-7. So Hager with his second, and the takeaway, and that's Ryan Roach. Now it comes loose down on the other end in the Brophy defensive end. Preble picked that one up and got it over to Liam Bailey, who is, how many has he cleared deep inside the other half?
Well, it's, for me, if I'm the coach, it's frustrating. You don't have a guy out there. You need to have some short sticks going back for the ball, or if you're going to clear the ball, you need to push aside, go up the sideline, and stretch the field so you can find an open guy.
All right, now let's see what kind of ride we get out of Brophy and Siegel.
I mean, no one's picking him up. If I'm not picking him up, I'm shooting the ball.
He is. And Liam comes up large.
I mean, if I know we still have time, but if Brophy wins the game, is Liam Bailey your MVP?
Oh, yeah. Because, again, we go back to this balanced scoring that they have. They really, Cole's the only one that has scored more than one for them.
Well, there's 4:45 left, and they're down 1. They still need to score.
Now, Pat, listen to this. Okay, after Cole Rassus scored the first goal, it's been a game of runs.
And that's what we talked about. Lacrosse, game of runs. Some teams are going to go out, get hot. The other team's going to come back. And, it's just playing lacrosse, playing your best lacrosse at the right time. If I'm Brophy, I'm not getting away from what we do best. Get the ball around. Get it spinning. You don't need to rush and try to score right away.
And what a save by Colvin on the other end. Josh Calvin. So Notre Dame scored 3. They went up 3-1. Brophy scored 3 in a row. Notre Dame countered with 2 in a row. Brophy countered with 3, and now Notre Dame's on a 3-0 run. Paul, he's going to be turned away.
Great save by Josh Calvin.
Josh Calvin saved 67% of the shots against in 2019. It's a good clear by Grant.
No one picking him up.
He had Hackbarth at the doorstep.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you're up 3. Do you want to push transition? But if you live and die by it, you continue to do it.
I was just going to say, Brophy may want a timeout.
Well, they got to clear the ball first. They got to get it over. I think they're going to get a not a delay game, but unsuccessful clear here. Yep, and they do.
They threw it away.
Now look at the NDP bench. Look at them jumping up and down.
Yep. Did they call failure to advance?
Actually, they turned the ball over, so they tried to make a up and over pass, and it went out of bounds.
We are down to 3 minutes and 15 seconds in this Division I state championship game. Notre Dame has reeled off 3 straight goals. They are led by Jake Smith's 5 goals tonight, and they lead at 8-7. 3 minutes left to play here. We may or may not have a champion.
Well, I was talking to Doug Lipka earlier, and he mentioned how after every practice, every huddle, they say Pete, is in terms of 3-peat. So that's what they're trying to do out here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know the Arizona lacrosse landscape, but has a 3-peat been done? I mean,
Chaparral did it between 2004, 2005, and 2006. They're the only team to ever do it.
Here's Jake Smith. I'd slide early.
He'll give it up. Now Max Bergamo, goal line extended left, 2.5 on the clock.
And the beauty of, I hate to say the beauty because I actually hate it, but there's no shot clock out in Arizona. So outside of Arizona, most of the state is, the country is adopted to the 80-second shot clock. So NDP could actually win the game on the offensive end of the field where they just hold the ball for 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yep. Well, I think I totally agree with you. After going through the college season this year for me and calling U of A and GCU games this year and watching what it's done for the game, I am all for it. Look out front.
Nice save. Now they got to push the ball. There's 1 minute and 50 seconds. He needs to get the ball into a midfielder's stick and clear the ball. And if you don't have anything when you get the ball on the offensive end of the field, I'm calling a timeout and trying to draw up something that we can go. So right now I'm calling a timeout. I'm calling a timeout if I'm Zach Woodman. And there it is. Jinx. Jinx again.
Jinx again. 143 on
What
the
an
clock.
amazing save by Liam Bailey. Standing tall, not afraid, not dipping, making the save, and then what he's done all game is clearing the ball by himself.
He has been, in a word, sensational, no doubt about it. And we have 1 minute and 43 seconds left to go here in regulation time.
So if you don't mind me asking, who's your MVP if Notre Dame wins this?
Well, Jake Smith has 5 goals.
Yeah.
But, again, you can talk about the defense.
I agree with you. Jake Smith, a kid that's only played, 4 or 5 games this year?
This is his 6th game.
6th game, coming back and making his presence known. For me personally, I think he's been the rejuvenation that the NDP team needed. Maybe they were just lacking a spark, and he came back and, kind of lit a fire under these boys, and they've gone on a run.
They've won 9 straight, and in this 9-game win streak, they have outscored their opponents 125-21. They are averaging 2.3 points allowed during that span. And, it's been an amazing run, but he's only been there for half of it.
Yeah.
So they got it together, and they didn't play well against Chaparral. They gave up 8 points to a Chaparral team that's towards the bottom in scoring in the league. And after that, they have been shut down defense.
Strong defense. We'll see if they can do it again here, right? There's 1 minute and 43 seconds. I'm not sure if Coach Whitman has a go-to play or if he drew something up or what they're going to do. But, to tie the game, this is it right here.
Well, I think that your go-to guy here, if you're Zach Whitman, you're looking for number 14, Brian Paul.
And look who he's matched up against, though.
But
I still think you do it.
I just saw that.
Jake Smith versus Brian Paul. Then you got other guys. It looks like they're going to put the poll on Xander Welty. So someone needs to make a play, and maybe, half the time when you draw up a play, it doesn't go according to plan. Well, you got to end up playing lacrosse.
And you're absolutely right. So so Welty or Scheinman's going to have to step up.
They had a look. What they were trying to do was an inside seal for Cole Rassis to get his left hand, and they got him, but Zach Siegel ended up playing it pretty strong. Minute and 15 seconds left.
Well, obviously Notre Dame was saying we're putting one of our top defenders on Paul. Shot.
Oh my gosh, what a great move.
That was Xander Welty. Yeah, he's only a sophomore. I keep forgetting that. You watch him, you think he's a senior. Oh, we got an illegal screen here.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a delay of game. Chucking the ball. Delay of game.
And now you're going to be a man down.
Yep, they're going to go man down. They're going to get the ball on the offense end of the field. So, it's tough. I think you're going to get a 30-second penalty. If you're Coach Whitman, do you pull the goalie when the ball gets behind the goal? I don't know. I think you play aggressive up top, but that's definitely a delay game. If you're a player and you get a call on you, you drop the ball and go lock up and find a guy.
1:02 left to play. Boy, two monumental mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mistake. He's a sophomore. He's young. But there's a lot of time left. A minute left. They're on extra man. Again, they're going to hold the ball. So you need to apply some pressure.
Notre Dame won a title in Division II. They were runner-ups twice.
Oh my gosh, he drops the ball.
And Smith
uses that
try to get it back.
They call it time.
A push.
I don't know about that call.
I don't know about that one either.
They still have to clear the ball and their man down. I don't know if they have another timeout. I know they used their last timeout. So they're man down. They got to get a goal here.
Yeah, they may very well be out of timeout. So we never got a clarification.
Brophy's going to get their full strength at 30 seconds exact. But it looks like sophomore midfield Xander Welty's going, but they have a guy shadowing, which is smart.
Now Siegel over there on the slide.
25 seconds, 27.
Paul trying to clear the
hand. I would have shot it.
He had it. He had hands
20
clear.
seconds left. Shoot it.
All right. Xander Welty.
Great save by the senior goalie.
All right. Josh Calvin.
And they send it. There's 10 seconds left. Push.
They're going to play on. Nope. Offsides. It is Notre Dame's ball.
NDP's going to do it.
And Notre Dame is going to capture. It's a three-peat for the Notre Dame Saints in 2019. And our final score is 8-7.
Beautiful. Look at all the fans, all the students that came out to the game, rushing onto the field, celebrating with the players.
Notre Dame has won their third consecutive Division I Arizona Lacrosse League State Championship. And boy, were we treated to some exciting lacrosse here today on apnvideo.com. I'm almost speechless. This was the most fun I think I've ever had.
What an exciting game. I mean, this is what you want when you play in a state championship game. Coming down to the wire, both teams having opportunities. NDP doing it. Again, they relying on their seniors. Big senior-heavy team. But congratulations to NDP. Congratulations to Coach Doug Lipka, Mark Siegel. Congratulations to those seniors who's going to go off as 3-time state championship players.
Well, Pat, it has been a pleasure. And, just to hear your knowledge of the game. If anybody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. My P40 Lacrosse. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, email, P40 authoritylacrosse@gmail.com if you're interested in private lessons, group training, if your team is interested in some consultation of, just about the game, or even if you want to grab a cup of coffee and talk lacrosse. Like, I love it. When I first moved out here, I didn't even know lacrosse was here, and I show up to a Miles Jones, one of my good friends, Miles Jones, like, play day out in Ahwatukee, and I saw all these young kids running around. I'm like, where has this been for a year that I lived here? So, I'm passionate about the sport. Would love to work with anyone and everyone that's interested in getting better in lacrosse.
Okay. Well, are they raising the trophy yet?
Looks like they're just about to, taking team pictures right now. You're getting coaches jumping up and down. I think I see Mark Siegel over there.
Yeah, Siegel. 2 years ago, they smothered him. And there's
your plaque. There's your trophy.
There it is.
What an awesome moment for that team. I mean, I guess when the seniors were sophomores is when they first started that run. And for coaches like Coach Mark and Coach Doug, they've coached these guys since 5th or 6th grade from the youth program, coaching them and bringing them into the NDP family and building what you can say now is a dynasty.
And they took their lumps for a couple of years. And then, of course, they were D2 for the longest time. So, but, Zach Wedman, and I've known Zach for many, many years. I think he's just done a great job with Brophy. They hit a little low. They had a little transitional period, and a lot of credit goes to Zach. One of my favorite guys in the league. So, congratulations to Brophy. So, Notre Dame has won it. Pat, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on here.
Dylan Olson on camera. I know he's not feeling too well. He and Lang was the one that has the fever, but we got a couple guys under the weather. But all in all, we brought it to you, and folks, thank you so much. Thank you for at all the games being so ingratiating, coming up to me, telling me how much you enjoy this and how much you appreciate it. And I cannot tell you, it makes me feel so good. And I've met so many tremendous people, the parents, the players. I'm sad to see it go.
Yeah, great year of lacrosse, and the beauty of it though is for a team like Brophy, there's next year, and I think training, maybe you let this sink in, but then you get right back to it. And for Brophy, let this sink in too. You just won 3 times in a row, and you deserve to celebrate it.
All right, so for Dylan Olson and Pat Harbison, I'm Jeff Lowry saying so long from Phoenix College, where Notre Dame defeats the Brophy Broncos 8-7 to win their 3rd consecutive Arizona Lacrosse League championship. So long, everybody. All right, we're clear.